There are warriors in this galaxy who do not flinch, not because they are brave, not because they are fearless, because fear was burned out of them before they were old enough to remember their own names. The Adeptus Astartes are not soldiers. They are weapons pretending to be men. And in the 41st millennium, both the lore and the tabletop agree on that truth. Allow me to welcome you to my channel. This is Nemo Forever. You are listening to COG, Eternal, where myth is measured in blood and mathematics. In the 41st millennia, the Imperium does not build heroes. It manufactures compliance. A loyalist space marine begins as a child, selected for genetic compatibility, stripped from whatever world birthed him. He is implanted with organs grown from the gene seed of the Emperor's sons. Bones reinforced, musculature overgrown, blood thickened, reaction times sharpened beyond mortal capacity. He is indoctrinated, ritualized, weaponized. And Astartes is not just enhanced, he is redefined. He does not represent humanity elevated, he represents humanity narrowed. All distraction removed, all fragility cauterized. In the lore, the process produces a transhuman warrior capable of surviving wounds that would obliterate a guardsman, fighting for days without rest, to operate in hard vacuum, able to execute tactical decisions at inhuman speed. He is not an army. He is a solution. But here is where the unity begins. Because when we turn to the tabletop, we see the same philosophy encoded mechanically. Look at a standard Loyalist Astartes datasheet in Millennia 41 era play. High weapon skill, high ballistic skill, solid toughness, multiple wounds, strong leadership. What does that say? It says this unit is not expendable. Guardsmen come in waves. Astartes come in squads. Their stat line is not bloated. It is efficient. They hit reliably. They endure moderately. They do not fold to morale easily. The game does not treat them as mass infantry. It treats them as elite operators. Even their cost reflects this narrative weight. You do not flood the board with space marines. You commit them, and this mirrors the lore perfectly. The Imperium cannot replace them easily. Gene seed is sacred, chapters are finite. On the tabletop, that scarcity becomes points, efficiency, pressure. Every model matters. That is not coincidence. That is design philosophy, aligned with narrative identity. In the war, power armor is not clothing. It is a second nervous system, ceramite plating, auto senses, environmental sealing, integrated communications. The armor does not make the Marine powerful. It completes him. Now let's look at the tabletop translation. 3+ armor save. Not invincible, not unstoppable, but consistently resilient. Add in stratagems, cover mechanics, detachment bonuses. You begin to see something interesting. Space Marines are not the toughest faction. They are the most dependable. Their durability is stable, predictable, just like their doctrine. Loyalist Astartes do not fight chaotically. They are codified. Even in M41, long after the heresy, the Codex Astartes remains doctrinal spine. Tactical squads, fire discipline, combined arms. On the tabletop, this becomes flexible weapon loadouts, detachment rules encouraging adaptability, units capable in both melee and ranged roles. They are not hyper-specialists. They are generalists perfected. And this is crucial because the Astartes myth says they are ultimate warriors, but the rules say something subtler. They are not the most lethal. They are not the fastest, not the toughest. They are balanced, which reflects the uncomfortable truth. The Imperium's greatest weapon is not excess. It is control. In the lore, Astartes do not break. They inspire terror in others, not themselves. Their presence alone can anchor faltering lines. On the tabletop, high leadership values, reliable battle shock resistance. They are not immune to morale mechanics, but they are resistant. Again, not absolute, just dependable. Because Space Marines are not gods. They are engineered stability in a galaxy of instability. Here is the fracture. The myth says Astartes are unstoppable. The tabletop says they die to plasma, to weight of fire, to focused anti-armor. They are durable, but they fall. And this is important because in the lore of M41, Loyalist chapters are stretched thin, overextended, under strength, haunted by 10,000 years of attrition. The tabletop reflects this fragility through opportunity cost. You cannot waste them. They are powerful, but never infinite. That tension is intentional. An Astartes is not expensive by accident. He is expensive by design. In the lore, the creation of a space marine is not scalable. gene seed is finite. The implantation process is slow. Failure is common. Entire generations of aspirants are consumed to produce a single viable warrior. A chapter cannot simply decide to become a legion. It does not possess the biological infrastructure to do so. On the tabletop, this truth manifests with absolute clarity. Astartes' armies are small. Every model carries significant cost. Every loss is meaningful. You cannot afford waste. You cannot afford carelessness. You are not commanding an army. You are allocating assets. This changes how the army is played. Where other factions trade bodies for time, Astartes trade precision for survival. Every decision carries weight, because every Astartes represents an investment the Imperium cannot easily replace. They are not numerous. They are not expendable. They are deliberate. The Astartes were not created to defend the Imperium. They were created to conquer the galaxy. They were tools of expansion, weapons of unification. Their purpose was not preservation, it was completion. And they succeeded. The Imperium was forged. The galaxy was claimed, but their war did not end. There is a final truth revealed when examining the Astartes through both myth and mechanism. They were not designed to live in peace. There is no version of the Astartes that exists outside of war. Their biology rejects it. Their psychology cannot conceive of it. Their purpose does not allow it. On the tabletop, this becomes immediately apparent. There is no configuration in which Astartes become civilians. There is no role in which they cease to function as instruments of violence. Every weapon they carry, every ability they possess, every advantage written into their design exists to solve a single problem: conflict. This is what they are, and this is all they can never be. When you place a squad of loyalist Astartes on the table, you are not deploying super soldiers. You are deploying myth compressed into mechanics, ceramite and statline, faith and wound count, gene seed and leadership values. The Adeptus Astartes are not powerful because the story says so. They are powerful because the story and the system agree. And that unity is the real design brilliance of the 41st Millennium. Thank you for listening. Cogiternal can be found on YouTube, Spotify, and Rumble. If this transmission was worthy of your time, allow it to endure. Leave your reflections below and subscribe should you wish to walk further into the 41st millennium. If this work resonates, my neighbors await in the description. The numbers do not lie.